Proverbs chapter 29. A man who remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. A man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. By justice, a king gives a country stability, but one who is greedy for bribes tears it down. Whoever flatters his neighbor is spreading a net for his feet. An evil man is snared by his own sin, but a righteous one can sing and be glad. The righteous care about justice for the poor, but the wicked have no such concern. Mockers stir up a city, but wise men turn away anger. If a wise man goes to court with a fool, the fool rages and scoffs, and there is no peace. Bloodthirsty men hate a man of integrity and seek to kill the upright. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. If a ruler listens to lies, all his officials become wicked. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common. The Lord gives sight to the eyes of both. If a king judges the poor with fairness, his throne will always be secure. The rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother. When the wicked thrive, so does sin, but the righteous will see their downfall. Discipline your son, and he will give you peace. He will bring delight to your soul. Where there is no revelation, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law. A servant cannot be corrected by mere words. Though he understands, he will not respond. Do you see a man who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for him. If a man pampers his servant from youth, he will bring grief in the end. An angry man stirs up dissension, and a hot-tempered one commits many sins. A man's pride brings him low, but a man of lowly spirit gains honor. The accomplice of a thief is his own enemy. He is put under oath and dare not testify. Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. Many seek an audience with a ruler, but it is from the Lord that man gets justice. The righteous detest the dishonest. The wicked detest the upright. This concludes Proverbs chapter 29. Today is December 29th, 2021. I suppose the only thing that I have today to comment on this particular reading is to draw a connection, which I had noted before in my reading of this proverb, this chapter of Proverbs, all of the different verses that speak with anger, or speak about anger. Verse 8, wise men turn away anger. Verse 9, the fool rages. Verse 11, the fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. Verse 22, an angry man stirs up dissension. So a lot of verses in Proverbs chapter 29, and none of them praise anger or acting out of anger. There's also a theme of justice. In verse 4, by justice, a king gives a country stability. Verse 26, but it is from the Lord that man gets justice. And verse 20 hits home for me personally. I can say, it is, do you see a man who speaks in haste? And I wrote a note some time ago to myself, don't speak in haste. And There's also a connective verse between Proverbs 29, verse 7, and Proverbs 28, verses 27. So the previous chapter, verse 27. He who gives to the poor will lack nothing, but he who closes his eyes to them receives many curses. So that's from Proverbs 28, 27. 29:7 says, the righteous care about justice for the poor, but the wicked have no such concern. Makes me want to say that we have no right to look down upon the poor, to despise them in any way, or to detest them, or to wonder why they are poor or homeless, or why they are standing on a street corner. You may choose not to help them because you may determine that it maybe in that moment is not wise, or your experience in the world leads you to withhold giving in that moment. On the other hand, maybe you feel a special compulsion to give to someone that you see. But whether you give to them or whether you do not give to them, verse 7 says the righteous care about justice for the poor. It's caring, I think, that underlies that. And in the previous chapter, verse 27, he who closes his eyes to them receives many curses. So I think awareness and caring, and maybe never becoming numb, fighting against a complacency. And that concludes perhaps some random thoughts or comments on Proverbs chapter 29. Thanks for joining me.